Today we are going to be talking about Amazon 5 packs. We're going to be trying to predict what could possibly be coming in the future, what we want to come in the future, and I'll be honest with you, Jordan, some of these characters that I have in my 5 packs that I kind of actually want, I have no idea who they are, but that's typical Dakota fashion. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota, here with my co-host, Jordan, and we are trying to predict or manifest Amazon
Manifest.
exclusive.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
I
because
like that.
there's usually only one per year, maybe two. So there's no way all of these are going to be on the list. I think we've got,
But
what do we got, like 10 5 packs maybe?
I think I have 4 that I came up with. So, well, no, I came up with 5.
Oh,
So,
look at that, Jordan.
I mean, we're bound to get at least one of them, right? If we we throw them all out there. So,
At least one of these characters might possibly get made.
into a legend. No, I think it's a good mix of, I mean, some of it might be a little pie in the sky, but I'm hopeful. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's, you always got to have some hope. You got to hope that Hasbro puts out those things that you want. I will say that random from their most previous 5 pack, huge disappointment. I wanted a
Yeah.
random for so long, and that was not the random I wanted. But maybe they'll do a better job on the next one that I want. Before we get into that, Jordan, remember, we're giving away this Dio back here. So make sure you go back to that retro X-Men card predictions. Leave your comment there. That's how you get entered to win. And then we'll do that drawing here pretty soon. So I'll start with some of the 5 packs I'm kind of manifesting, hoping that Hasbro creates. Like I said, I don't even know all these characters, but I hope they get made. So first off, I'm actually stealing this from one of the commenters on the giveaway. This is a 5 pack of the giant size X-Men. So you're going to get a Wolverine in there. I think that makes this more realistic because Hasbro loves to make their Wolverines. You're going to get a Cyclops. And I think this was a Cyclops that you wanted from that retro X-Men wave prediction type thing. You're going to get a Storm, essentially just a repaint. Makes me feel like this is kind of likely. A Colossus, which I think a lot of people are wanting an updated Colossus. And, you know, in typical Hasbro fashion, they're not going to put it out in a single pack. You're going to have to buy a 5 pack to get this cool Colossus that you really want. And a Nightcrawler. So all of these are pretty much remakes, which makes it seem so possible that it's probably coming. And
I'm sorry, Dakota. I'm going to have to crush your dreams and say there's no way we get that many bangers in a 5 pack.
Really? Okay. Even if they're all like repaints pretty much?
I don't know, man. I feel like the formula for the 5 pack is there's got to be like 1 you really want, 2 you kind of want, and 2 that are like, why would I ever want that figure?
But that's kind of where I feel like Wolverine is like a why do you need it? Because it's the same thing as what we just got with the 97. You can still use that pinless, just literally put it out just a slightly different yellow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think leave me a comment. Is this one actually real? Because I think it's all just repaints, so why wouldn't Hasbro do it? Plus, that box art would be cool because you just have the cover of the comic.
That's true. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool. I think that would be an awesome 5 pack to get.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I guess I see that side of it, the repaints. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Don't even need to do any new tech. It's all just kind of the same stuff.
Yeah. I guess usually for me, it feels like the 5 packs, like, it's not like all usually iconic.
Right,
like
okay.
Top tier characters. Maybe that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are all like top X-Men.
Right.
Where I could see maybe like 1 or 2 of those, and then somehow you get some other ones thrown in there.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah.
I hope it comes to pass.
We'll leave it to the commenters. How likely is it?
All right.
The next one I had down, which I think is a little less likely, is a Nasty Boys 5 pack. So I think technically the Nasty Boys are 4 characters, maybe 5. But so the ones that I have are Gorgeous George, which I think I'd like to just get him regardless because that sounds like just a fun name, and he was always one of my favorites in the cartoons. Then you got Slab, which is like the big buff guy.
Mm-hmm.
You got Hairbag, which is like the smaller kind of werewolf-looking guy almost. Ruckus, who's pretty much like Banshee. I never really understood the difference there. He's just kind of more disco-looking, doesn't fly. Ramrod, which who doesn't want a figure named Ramrod? And then
Used to call you that in high school.
That's true. That's what your mother calls me.
Oh,
But I was
Mom,
thinking,
comment below. Is that true?
I was thinking you could maybe swap out Ramrod for that lizard mutate from the comics, or not the comics, the cartoon. I don't know if he was in the comics.
Right.
But Mr. Sinister's kind of lizard salamander guy, because I don't know, he seemed to play a big part in the cartoon. So
Right. See, again, okay, this to me feels more like on par for what I imagine a 5-pack being.
okay,
Like it's
even though
kind
these
of
are
an
all
excuse.
new characters. There's no
A
way.
little bit, but for me, it seems like they almost use the 5-packs as like, here's a bunch of characters we probably couldn't push individually. So if we put them all in a pack,
True.
You know, that's seems to me to be the trend with those.
Okay.
Even if they're new, it's like you might have a hard time selling Ramrod and Hairbag in a Build-A-Figure wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. That's true. That's true. I get that. So that one, I really would like that one. That one I would buy. I'm sure that would go on clearance because not everybody's going to want those characters. But I would be tempted to pay full price for that one, honestly.
Yeah.
The
Sounds
next
like
one,
a fun assortment of characters for sure.
yeah. This one, I don't know if they would do a 5-pack. The reason I think that this would be likely as a 5-pack is because it's got characters that would be redos. Anyway, I want a Dark Avengers 5-pack because I've been trying to complete that team for a while. We've gotten the old Ares, the old Deacon. You can use your Hawkeye from the Allfather wave. There's that old Iron Patriot, but we need some updates and we need to round out this team. So my 5-pack is going to include a new Deacon. Is that how you say his name, right?
I always said it Dakin, but I guess I never heard it pronounced. So we can put that in our. How do you pronounce this person's
phonetically?
Name episode?
Type that out down below. Because I've always said Dakin, but anyway, him because that's kind of your Wolverine character, so that's going to sell the pack. You get a Ms. Marvel in that red and blue costume. You're going to get a Norman Osborn.
Is this Iron Patriot or as Norman Osborn?
I would want an Iron Patriot, but I feel like I would prefer Iron Patriot to be put out single carded, and this is just going to be a green suited Norman Osborn. So that's kind of how I would, because I'm trying to make this somewhat likely, where I think if they put Iron Patriot in here, that would make a lot of people mad because maybe they don't want all these other characters. They got to buy a 5-pack, which is the same way they did with Strife. So honestly, you know what? Maybe it is going to be Iron Patriot.
You just repaint the Extremis one, right?
Right, exactly. So it'd be easy to do, and a lot of people would want it, I think. You're going to get a new Hawkeye because you don't really need one, but that's why they're going to do it. And they really could do like a different Hawkeye. Like you could do something similar to that Allfather wave, but that one's not even perfect either. And then a new Marvel Boy, which I know they just put out Marvel Boy in the Totally Awesome Hulk wave, but it's not the right costume. Dwight knows what he's doing.
Is like the Protector or whatever. He's
right, yeah, the green and white one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my 5-pack. I know that's not like the entire team, like you're missing Ares, but I think the old Ares would be fine. And that wouldn't really work in a 5-pack. That'd be more of a 2-pack with somebody else.
Yeah, I don't think they would put out another Ares with the Build-A-Figure and the other one out, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would hope they would in a 2-pack, like remake it, make him a little bit more posable.
Well, at some point, but I think if we were seeing a 5-pack, these ones would make more sense.
And he's still in current comics, I think. Yeah, because he was just in the Punisher comics.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't really know how he came back after getting ripped in half, but I guess he's a god, so.
That's a...
Never really died.
That's a slap on the wrist for a Marvel character, man.
All right, so now this is my kind of unlikely, but I want some of the characters in here, so, let's make it a 5-pack anyway. This is going to be Magneto and his Acolytes. Again, I'm going to need some comments here. I don't know anything about this story or why these people, who, what, why.
This is kind of like his posse hanging out on Asteroid M, right?
Right. So we're going with, the main thing I want from this is an Acolyte Colossus, because I think that's just a cool look for him. Get a Fabian Cortez. I kind of remember him from the cartoon, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say this name. Senyaka? Is that how you say that?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Don't know who it is, but apparently it's an Acolyte, so it's kind of got to be in the 5-pack. Exodus, I mentioned that previously in our retro wave, so maybe we put him in this 5-pack instead. And then get the leader, Magneto. So kind of an oddball choice there. Maybe the most unlikely, but I would like to see Colossus in that costume. And I think everybody wouldn't mind more Magnetos being made, because this X-Men 97 one is good, but it's not great. They could still do better. I don't know. This one just is, it's missing something. Don't know what, but it's missing something. Another one that is probably, I don't know, not impossible, but it's just going to take a lot of new tooling would be a Power Pack 5-pack. So the Power Pack is like 4 characters. You get 0G, Light Speed, Mass Master, and Energizer. So that's going to be kind of all new figures, because it's going to be Kid Bucks, and they're all different sizes. You need like little girl, little boy, kind of younger boy, younger girl. So can't just do like one single Kid Buck across all of it. So that makes it seem a little bit less likely. And then you would throw in kind of whoever they team up with. Like they will typically team up with bigger characters like Wolverine or Spider-Man. So I think that's who you would throw in there as one of those two, as that 5th member, as kind of their like chaperone.
And they love to make Spider-Man and Wolverine. So
exactly. So
no, that's an interesting one. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I know that's a team that would be pretty unique. That I think, again, would be kind of hard to put out as single pack characters. I think those make sense actually as a 5-pack. So.
Yeah, I just think it would take so long to get them as single packed characters, because it's like they're gonna here's this new body, and then like 3 years later, here's another kid body, and then by the time you get the 4th one, the first one is outdated.
Right.
They just got to throw them all out there, which I think would justify them being a 5-pack, because smaller kids aren't the same amount of plastic. But anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the 5-packs I had, Jordan. What do you got for us?
Those are some good picks. Okay. So my first one, this is the one I would want the most. I'm not sure how likely it is, but it would be an Invaders 5-pack. So kind of our World War II superhero team. I think, obviously, first and foremost, you're going to have Captain America. Would it be a new Cap? I would hope so. Something tells me not, but I don't know. You could just kind of do any kind of Captain America for that. And then I think, of course, you need Namor. I would hope, again, I know we've talked before about an updated Namor body, even on the like Vulcan look or something. I think that would be cool. Give him some butterfly joints in the classic look. Could use an update. Third one, so they had 2 guys that were basically fire people that flew. I don't know if you remember that, but they had the original Human Torch, it was like an android, and they also had a kid named Toro. To my knowledge, they both did the same exact thing. I don't know how that happened. I doubt we would get 2 guys like that, so maybe you would just pick one, or it would be like a multifunction, depending on who you want it to be. Something. Right, exactly. So you could, pick that out. I would love a new Bucky. Yes. I think Bucky could use an update. That old one just does not cut it. So I think an updated Bucky would be pretty popular. And then I think the last one I'm going to go with would be Spitfire. Kind of super speed. Got like the yellow costume. Be a new female figure would be cool. I have 3 alternates if any of these don't work and need to be swapped out. First one I think could be the Wizard, which I love just because... He's got a ridiculous name. Exactly. Fun fact, I was reading about him today, and apparently in the original comics, the Wizard got his powers because he received a blood transfusion from a mongoose, which I think is just an incredible backstory. I don't know how that works. I think they've retconned that. How much blood does a mongoose have to give? I know, and why? I don't know why. I don't even want to know why, though.
Like you had to have had doctors there to administer this blood transfusion that you could have had human.
You're right, but it was a mongoose. Don't tell me why. But somehow he got super speed, so that's just great. And then 2 other ones could be Miss America or Union Jack. We've seen Union Jack before. Miss America would be new. But again, I don't know. I don't know how many new ones you get within this, but I would be happy with almost any combination of those figures. And I have to say, I'd be tempted to get that one when it came out, but
Full price?
I should know better, so we'll see. But I think that would be a really cool 5-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, I thought it was Agents of Atlas, which I was doing a little bit of reading on them. I think they appeared in like kind of a what if, and then they in the modern day, kind of, well, modern, 20 years ago, they like retroactively wrote the team in. Mm-hmm. So the kind of 5 main ones I seem to identify were Jimmy Woo, which would be an interesting because we've never seen him as a comic legend.
Right.
Gorilla Man.
Again, I'll be all over
dude
that.
Get turned into a gorilla. Love it. Here for it. There was a Marvel Boy / the Uranian.
Okay.
I don't think it's, again, kind of one of those goofier, old-timey looking figures where he's just got the little shorts and red cape and stuff, and I just think he'd be kind of fun.
Nice.
And then there's a female character, Venus, and then the last one is M11. It's just like their android robot guy. Yeah. So I remember they would kind of show up in random stories and stuff.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of new figures, but some of them are a little more obscure, so that could be interesting. The next one I've got is the Enforcers, who were some early Spider-Man bad guys. They've gone through a couple iterations, but for the most part, the main group of the original, it's a guy named Montana, there's the Ox, and Fancy Dan. Nice. And they get hired by the big man. And they're basically all like old-timey mobster-looking guys, but each one's got like a gimmick, you know? Yeah. It's like, what are they doing fighting Spider-Man? So I think now they're kind of more just... They would have random, like, other... I don't know who the 5th one would be. Maybe you could put Spider-Man, do like the...
Yeah.
Was it the Fearsome Foes pack with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
But you would kind of just have a bunch of guys with suited bodies in that. So maybe that wouldn't work. But I think that would be kind of a fun one to have. Next
who
one
doesn't
I've
want
got...
a Fancy Dan, honestly?
Yeah, I think they're just kind of fun, and those funny kind of random characters. Yeah. So that could be interesting. This next one I would also be excited about. That group, I think they call them the Slingers, but they were... In the 90s, there was a story, Identity Crisis, where Spider-Man has to, like, give up the Spider-Man persona, and he tries out a couple other identities to, like, test out if he could be other superheroes, sort of. So the first one is Prodigy, who's sort of like, you know, he's got this big yellow suit, big red cape, kind of like a Golden Age-looking type hero, his homage to that. And then there was Ricochet, who had, like, silver hair and like a, you know, very 90s, had like a bomber jacket on and ran around. And there was Hornet, which is kind of more like a beetle looking guy. He's got like the helmet and like wings and stuff.
Okay. And
then Dusk, which was like an all black suit. He had some kind of extra dimensional powers. So he used those briefly, and then, of course, goes back to being Spider-Man, but I'm pretty sure they had, like, other people took on those personas and made a team. So maybe you could have those 4, and probably as a 5th, maybe just a Spider-Man to kind of round it out.
Okay.
I think those are some characters that I remember thinking were pretty cool, and I don't know how likely it would be to see them in any other form. I don't know if anyone else wants those figures. Let me know below. But I think they would be fun to have. And my last one is Silver Sable's Wild Pack. So, again, they've gone through several iterations. Typically have Silver Sable. I think Sandman's been on there. Battlestar. And then they've kind of had rotating other members at different times. Again... Maybe not something. I guess we haven't seen. When was the last time we saw
Silver Sable? There was a retro
Sable?
Sandman, and then there was Silver Sable was that the Kingpin Build-A-Figure? So it's been a long time since Silver Sable's been out.
I could see that. Maybe get a newer Sandman. Never seen Battlestar, and then, to be honest, the rest of our team kind of blurs together. Very, Rob Liefeld looking 90s art with pouches and guns and, metal on them. But maybe some variation of that. My most excited would be the Invaders. Probably second would be the Slingers. Yeah. And then the other 3, I don't know, maybe if they went on clearance. But
Yeah.
um,
I
that's
think
kind of
another
what I
one
got.
I was thinking as we were going through this is an Ultimates, because
Yeah.
we've got the Ultimate Captain America. So let's get like probably an Ultimate Thor, Iron Man, maybe Wasp, and then like a Blue Marvel. He was in one of the
Hmm.
teams. And then,
Oh,
because I don't
like a
think he would,
newer Ultimates kind of thing or something, right? Yeah.
yeah, I just like a mix, because like you're probably not going to get Hulk in that pack.
I'd take from when they like rebooted the Ultimates that Hawkeye. Remember where he's got like the
mm,
purple mask? Kind of like
yeah,
I always thought that was a cool look for Hawkeye.
yeah,
I
I
didn't
did
love
too.
those stories necessarily, but I thought he looked cool
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
you
the original one just kind of looks like the MCU Hawkeye. So I don't,
right.
never found that as interesting. But
Yeah, maybe get a Nick Fury in there, depending on
yeah,
what the 3-pack coming out next year is going to be. If that's going to be, because I don't know if they're doing like both Nick Furies or what the deal is, because I don't even understand how they've brought them into the same universe. But um, and like I mean, there's no shortage of five
pretty
packs of
sure
like.
it's like his son or something, Nick
That's what
Fury
I thought
Jr.
too.
And
Yeah.
that's he just looks just like Samuel L. Jackson, I guess. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ultimates, that'd be interesting. I would
Yeah.
like to see those as figures. So, and they're rebooting Ultimates in the comics, so that
Right.
could
It's
be
pretty time.
topical.
I mean, maybe they would go with some of the newer stuff and put like the Maker in there, because then
Mm-hmm.
you could just pretty much take that Professor X from House of X.
Yeah,
But
just retool his head a little bit.
right. Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's a pretty substantial list of 5-packs. Maybe it'll be 50 years until we see all these characters. But, which do you think are the most likely, or which of these do you want to see coming out soon? Make sure that you're entering to win the Dio. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, stay strong.